Hey, what's going on guys? It's me, Aiden from Cartoon Apocalypse, and today I'm back with a long-awaited Miraculous video. I'm so sorry I've been so busy the past week, just with a bunch of different personal stuff, but I'm finally done with all of that for the most part, and I'm back to making some videos for you guys. So this video I wanted to make like last weekend, but it got pushed back to now, so let's get on with this video. So this video is kind of like a revision, or just kind of pointing out the things that I either got wrong or that I missed from the new panel stuff, you know, like the new transformations, that video that I made before. This is kind of just like a follow-up video to that other video. But before we get into that, there's been something that's been kind of going around that I wanted to address. All over social media, or at least as far as the people who I follow on social media, I've been seeing these tweets from Thomas Ustruct, or at least like screenshots of tweets, and it's just weird stuff that people are believing because they think that Thomas Ustruct was actually being serious when he said this. He actually confirmed that he was just joking. He said he can't believe that some grown-ups fell for it. So this just shows that you guys need to be a little bit more careful in what you believe, because if you guys were a little bit more cautious and didn't believe everything that you read on the internet, we wouldn't have all these problems with these fake Thomas Ustruct Twitter accounts and Instagram accounts. And just if everybody looked a little bit deeper into it, then we would all be better as a community. Like, take for example this one. Thomas Ustruct was replying to someone saying, "Will Marinette be akumatized?" and he said yes. Then she'll give her earrings to Hawkmoth and Master Fu's address. The end. That's obviously fake. Thomas Ustruct is never going to confirm anything that hasn't happened yet in the show, like such a big spoilers. Like, he's not going to confirm if Ladybug will be akumatized or not. And it just doesn't make sense, and that's how everybody, or how we were able to know that he was just joking. So I just want to make this, and if I need to, I'll make a whole separate video on it talking about it more in depth, but I just wanted to get this out of the way. So now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the meat of this video. I'm going to be going through all three panels again, just going and talking about either the things that I missed or things that I've seen that were confusing some people, and just things like that. So the first thing is something that I actually got wrong in the previous video. I had said that the two mouse variations was just the original mouse and then the mouse with the Ladybug Miraculous, but that was because I had a really blurry image and I couldn't tell. But it's actually the mouse and the Fox Miraculous versus the mouse and the Ladybug Miraculous, which is really interesting. This is the first time that we've seen Marinette in a full costume that's not Ladybug's, which is really cool because it shows that even though we only see these, there could be even more. Like, Ladybug could actually end up using, I don't know, like the Bee Miraculous or the Rabbit Miraculous, for example. Just, we could see that there's a bunch of different ways that the show could be portrayed, and it can be really interesting. So moving on, I'm going to go ahead and skip the second panel because I already made a whole video on that. Link will be down in the description below if you're interested in that. I talked about a theory that I created and just pretty much everything in that panel, maybe with the exception of the suit swap between Cat Noir and Ladybug. But if you are interested in that, again, link is down in the description for that second panel. But on the third panel, this was the most confusing panel in my own opinion. Now, maybe it was because I was kind of in a rush to just figure out what all these things meant, and I didn't exactly see it, but I at first overlooked who each of these characters belong to, or at least as far as the suits go, because I just kind of breezed over it and I didn't exactly know when it was completely obvious. So just starting on the left, we can see that there's Cat Noir, and then there's one on the right, just directly next to Cat Noir. My guess is that that is just Adrian transformed with the Snake Miraculous. It's just purely that's it. And then the one to the right of that, I'm thinking is actually Luka transformed into the Snake Miraculous, and I believe that everybody is pretty much on agreement with that one, because it also makes sense because of the harp. Luka likes music, so everything just kind of correlates with that, and Luka's a more mainstream character, so it all just makes sense. Now, I actually have a couple questions with the Snake Miraculous, because in the episode Sandboy in Season 2, we got to see a lot of Sass, which actually was interesting because Sass seemed to be a bigger character than almost Tiki and Plag were, because he was instructing the whole thing. Now, maybe that was just a coincidence and maybe he just knew the most about it for some reason, but it really did seem like Sass was a very important Kwami, and that makes me believe that maybe there are some really important Kwamis that aren't just like a side Kwami, you know, like on the side of the box. Because at first we were like, oh yeah, well the more important Kwamis are all up at the top, but maybe there are some at the sides that are more important than even some at the top. That's just my idea, and I have some questions about that, but it will be interesting to learn Sass's importance in the Season 3. And then obviously to the right of this panel we have Snake Noir, which was pretty obvious. I was able to piece that one together. And we do know which Miraculous Sass belongs to. It's the like bracelet Miraculous thing. It's the blue bracelet because we can see that on the far right side. So that's what we know about the Snake Miraculous pretty much so far. Now there was another thing that I wanted to clarify because I saw some comments on it, and the comments were saying pretty much that the text up at the top, they were saying, oh, Ladybug 3, that's Ladybug Season 3, and then the 300 and some numbers after it, that's the episode. So for example, just the Snake Miraculous with Adrian, or at least that's my guess, says Ladybug Season 3, episode 11 of Season 3. Now I actually asked Miraculous World Network on Twitter if this was the case, because I honestly didn't know, and they said no, this was not true. So we don't actually know when these people will appear in Season 3, so that's just something to keep in mind. But the Ladybug 3, I don't know if that one's right or not. That one makes more sense, but the 300 character after it does not. So just keep that in mind. That's another thing that I saw going around, which is not true. But this was just kind of a brief recap, kind of, not even like a recap, just kind of going over some new things that have developed in my head, or at least just new things, and letting you guys know what I messed up on, etc. As far as the previous video. If you haven't seen the previous video, I'd recommend going to see it because I go in way more depth than this one. But that's really going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, you can leave a like and subscribe for more content similar to this. But anyway, that's going to be it for me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Kwamis, sing!